All right, hi everybody. This is the MSDW Podcast. We're at Directions North America in Orlando, Florida, and I'm joined today by Todd McDaniel. Todd, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
You're
for having me.
Probably best known to podcast listeners for the Enterprise Software Podcast, which you have been running for quite some time now with a couple of other hosts.
Yep, with Darcy Borio and Bob McAdams. So we've been almost 3 years now with that, I think.
Yeah, it's doing great. I'm a listener and a subscriber, and I appreciate you joining me here today. It's been an interesting couple of days, I would say.
It has. Never a dull moment, right?
And we were trying to think of ways to sort of approach this, because we could probably talk for about a couple 2-3 hours here pretty easily.
I think we have already.
Yeah, right. And if we were to bring in someone else who walked by, we'd probably be able to get them going for a couple hours too. So
right.
I was trying to think of how to break things down, and you had a good idea. I mean, what have we learned this week, or what have partners learned this week that is maybe good news for anybody, for customers versus for partners? You were saying you think it's good news for customers, right?
I think the big winner this week, no doubt about it, is customers. So we had news that consulting services will now be listed on the AppSource. So we have an open marketplace for Dynamics ERP consulting services, which we've never had that before. I'm a capitalist, so I think an open market is always a good thing. And for a customer, I think that's great. We had information about the new version of NAV and Dynamics 365 Business is the same thing, but it's available in the cloud or on premises, which again is a good thing for customers. They have an option, which for a while we didn't know if they would have an option or not. We got news about the Accountants Hub in the new version, and that's good news for customers. They can invite their accountants, their accounting professionals in. So all in all, I mean, as a customer, it was a fantastic week for them in this process.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good news for partners to be able to go back and either report to their customers or for customers to start learning about. I think it all comes down to how it's presented to them, so that they kind of see the good parts and don't get confused. Because it's not the most simple set of changes.
No.
But like you said, I mean, I agree. I mean, I've seen some really good stuff this week. Probably the highlight in just going today was to learn about exactly how the next release will be utilizing sort of industry standard best practices for APIs to connect out to third-party systems. I think it's going to be a huge leap forward, and I think any existing NAV customer or someone looking at the 365 brand for like the next release should be pretty happy about that.
Absolutely, yeah. And other good news on the technical side for customers is extensions are not absolutely required now. So they're saying in the next release, you can use customizations just like you did in NAV in the new Tenerife, that's the code name, and not have to rewrite them as extensions. They still highly recommend extensions, is what I heard. But that's good news too.
Right. If you're a vendor or if you're a VAR or an ISV and you're going to be developing something on top of Tenerife, it should be an extension.
Yes.
But
yes.
If you have legacy stuff, you can possibly bring it forward.
Right.
With not with caveats, but it changes the equation, I think is the best way to say it. Right. You're going to have to consider the different support with different, maybe different costs even is a possibility. This gets into sort of the areas where we don't really know yet what it's going to mean.
Yeah. There was a lot of messages, but not a lot of real, I don't think, clear final messages yet.
Yeah, and that's the one critique here, I would say, from this event is that the information hasn't been sort of distributed in a way that's really super clear that people can sort of bank on.
Right.
What the message was.
Right.
I think it's the kind of thing that it will shake out, and there's some feedback. There's some feedback that I think will filter back up through Microsoft management. Naming is one area.
The branding discussion was I don't. It won't take much for that feedback to filter back up to management. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
The timing, we're talking about June now instead of the fall for the next release, and I think that was difficult for the partners. Puts them in an uncomfortable position, talking to new prospects, knowing that they have a not a brand new product, but a completely redeveloped product coming out in the spring. So they're in kind of a limbo for a few months. So that's difficult. So it wasn't. I don't. It was a much better week for customers than partners, I think, is
Yeah,
the good positive spin to put on it.
If I was going to think about things that Microsoft could have said differently that would have kind of made things seem a little better. One was, we've got your to partner Microsoft partners who sell NAV and who have lots of NAV customers. We've got your customers covered, but the future is a whole new opportunity. I think is maybe what they.
Yeah, you should write stuff for Microsoft. They should hire you to do that. Yeah, that would have been a much better tagline.
I think I think they have something way more competitive to sell with the Tenerife release. I think they've done a lot of different things to make in R&D to make it something that Microsoft thinks it should be. I think.
Yeah.
I think that. And I guess I agree that it is something that's much more in line with sort of modern enterprise software, competitive enterprise software, and much less like its legacy. And that's a good thing. It's just it's a complicated thing to bring into a product that has this much
absolutely
history with it.
Absolutely, and such a large customer base.
120,000 customers,
right?
Out there
and the vast majority of them customized to some extent.
Yeah,
very few using it right out of the box. So. And I came out of the keynotes. I mean, I was like, wow, this is. I mean, it was all very positive. I mean, even John Rivers commented that my tweets were remarkably positive for me.
Oh wow, that was positive for you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. But then we hit the Q&As and things went a little bit sideways there for a while. So I think there's a final message coming out, and it's not going to be exactly what we got here about the branding and everything else. But it is going to be different. It's going to be a different world.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
One of the things I think I mentioned in something I wrote was that I thought that GP and SL partners who were here, and I think there's more of them at this Directions event than would have been coming last year or the year before. I think they will like what they've heard, and I haven't taken much of a survey on that. But if you're looking at maybe we need to pick up a new cloud-based ERP, that this Tenerife could be it.
I think so. Yeah, and I think just being blunt and honest too, it's not bad news for existing GP partners to stick with GP a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because there is a true differentiation between the products now that wasn't there before, and there's a true difference between the enterprise and business that wasn't there before. So part of the good part of the rebranding is we're not going to say Microsoft Dynamics 365 and then have to say 10 more words after that as to what product it is. And I think that's part of the goal of the rebranding that they'll get right.
I think they will. And it's funny just looking at sort of the timeline. We always sort of look at sort of the event calendar as where Microsoft's going to be getting up on stage, saying things that matter to large audiences. And usually timing it with some well-crafted press releases. There was nothing like that really around this event.
Right.
Given the importance of the changes that are coming out, so it'll be very interesting to see with, there's Summit coming up, which I'm not sure that it, and then there's the European edition of Directions.
Right.
There's the Extreme event, which is more CRM focused. So I'm not sure that that's where they want to really focus on this.
I think Directions, EMEA is maybe where we get a little clearer focus.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them, for lack of a better way of saying it, I can't imagine them trotting out a new message at a customer event like Summit.
Right. The best I can figure is...
although they kind of did that last year, so I guess I shouldn't jump to those conclusions.
Yeah, that's true. That 2 hour... a 2.5 hour
pep rally
arena
marching band
event.
And everything else.
Yeah, that did not go over really well with existing customers. But they were playing to the audience that they hoped was online. I don't know how many people actually logged in to watch that, but that's who that was for. But I think again, at least for NAV, I think they have something positive to tell NAV users that here's your next release. You can stay on premise. You'll be really well off if you go to the cloud. I think they can make the case.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do they have enough time to sort of, revamp the way they say it, or get all the questions ready to go to be answered? I don't know about that part.
Yeah. And I think that was definitely one of the critiques from the partners here is even the top-level partners and the MVPs were completely blindsided by some of the news here. And you just don't want that. You want to have those people on board before you get in front of the general audience. And And so everybody, the Q&A with Marco was 3/4 full the first session, and then standing room only.
3/4 full?
Yeah, it was.
They weren't letting people in when I.
I know, and that was strange because there was. I mean, I could see from my seat on the back row, there were 12 seats in front of me directly that were empty. So.
Well,
So, anyways, but the second session, there were no empty seats.
No, certainly not. So, what else? I think there was some news with AppSource, right? And you got a sort of a first look at that today.
Yeah. So the AppSource consulting services in AppSource went into preview today. So if you go to AppSource, there's a consulting services tab, and you can see some partners already have services up there. Fixed fee, fixed scope services. So you can put up things like implement the manufacturing module, $8,000. And then you have a description of exactly what you'll do for that $8,000. A couple of interesting things about it. It is restricted to on-site services. So currently remote services cannot be advertised through AppSource. You have to meet certain requirements to have your services on AppSource, gold or silver with a revenue floor that you have to hit before you can be up there. And they're going to open up ratings and reviews from customers for partner services, which is going to be that's going to be a bit of a minefield. I think that's...
Oh, yeah. Ratings is like one of those, not third, it's like the third rail kind of a...
Yes,
kind of
yes,
thing.
yes.
They had them in Pinpoint. Lots of sites have attempted it. Not that many succeed.
Yes, yeah.
Even successful places like Amazon are full of controversy about who's logging those
Right, right. So they're talking about doing some restrictions and some reviews, and one of the comments from the partners was, well, can we make it like Uber so we can rate our customers if they rate us, and that opened up a whole nother discussion, which was kind of interesting.
That'd be interesting.
It would.
Decide whether or not you're going to take an engagement
right.
based on other partners' reviews of that client.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it would definitely. It's a whole new world.
It'd be like all out war in the partner channel. Oh my.
Right. So there's going to be some tweaks and stuff to that.
That probably isn't what they were going for. I'm gonna guess.
No. The Uber of ERP applications.
Yeah.
So
the other one thing I'm just thinking of that, it's sort of a side story here at Directions, but boy, if you follow CRM MVPs, they're paying close attention is what Microsoft has and hasn't said about the future of the different CRM related apps. There's a bit of a open story there right now about what are the SMB versus enterprise sales and marketing and customer service apps going to look like and be packaged like after this, in the next 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, and I may be completely wrong. I understood now, though, it's one application packaged slightly differently with different types of users.
I heard someone say that, and best as I can tell, that's not what it is today. But that's always been sort of the intention that they have a new unified client sort of technology for CRM that they want to implement. They were doing it first with the SMB apps, and then they're planning to bring that back up to the enterprise apps, the ones based on traditional Dynamics CRM.
Right.
And if they're still planning to do that, so that you have one interface for sales apps, whether it's something stripped down for SMBs or something full scale Dynamics CRM, based for enterprise. Okay, I mean that's basically what they had planned to do already. Whether they sort of make it just one thing with 3 levels to it, or 2 different apps. Then you're getting into the sort of nitpicking, whereas does it really matter?
Right.
The clients really care as long as you give them the right version.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Microsoft wants. I mean, if I could take something away from this event, they want to bring, they're looking for a way to make 365 work as a package. I think they do want to get rid of the long names that everyone sort of scoffs at.
Yes.
I think they want to make it just whatever that combination is that's going to work, I think is what they're looking for.
Yeah, I agree.
I certainly can't. I don't think there's any reason for them to not act like they are looking for that right combination.
I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity by Microsoft, though. I mean, they had 800 partner and ISV people in one place. Mm-hmm. Why not go into the details a little bit more on some of this stuff and get some honest feedback? They did on some of the AppSource consulting things, but like on the CRM stuff, there's all these questions out there, and you and I both know that just allows people to create their own stories.
That's the problem today.
Right.
I've seen a few things where it's like no one said that I heard.
Right.
And plans that have been in the works for a long time aren't immediately changing today.
Right.
So it's sort of like almost sort of non-stories or things that people didn't notice before, and now they're noticing, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like with the sales app. I don't know if it's confusion or what, but there's a lot more to work out there and kind of get Microsoft to hopefully realign.
Right. Yep.
So, and this event's not over. I mean, we've got another 24 hours or so.
Yeah, and we got a good party to go to at Universal Studios. So
and then
that's the important things.
A few more sessions, and it's a great. This is your first Directions, right?
It is. I was going to say it's my first NAV event, but I can't even say that now. So.
All right. Yeah, right. I think this is my third Directions event, and it's a great event. I mean, the people who put it together do a nice job, and the partners who present always come to do their best. And
yeah, no, the presentations have been very good. Food's been amazing. The venue's very nice. Overall, I mean, really, really good event. Well organized. I think the right amount of content. Not overwhelming, but plenty there for you to choose from.
I've been finding that I'm usually choosing between a couple of options, and
right.
anytime I have time to get into a session, so
yep.
That's always a good thing too.
Yep.
Well, hey Todd, let's wrap it up there. Thanks so much for joining me. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
You on here for the first time, and
I'm sure we'll talk again in another conference.
My thanks to Todd McDaniel for joining me on this field-recorded episode of the MSDW Podcast. Feel free to get in touch. You can reach me by email, jgumpert@msdynamicsworld.com. Until next time, this is MS Dynamics World signing off.